Okay, so I'm back for our second part. So looks like I got a whole ton of green. I kind of blopped some on my tray and realized, oh my gosh, I don't need that much. Sometimes the paint just kind of blops out, but we try to be careful not to let it blop out. We're gonna kind of do the same thing, but I'm just gonna start with a little bit of some orange, and we're gonna keep adding green to make it darker and darker and darker. And this is kind of fun, and it's good to do because you kind of get to see what happens when you add just a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more as you go down. And you find out that some colors you really like. Okay, so I'm gonna start with some orange. And wipe off your palette knife. You're gonna get paint on you, so that's just life. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with a teeny tiny amount of the green, like a pencil point worth. And I'm gonna mix it in. And acrylic takes a little bit longer because it takes a little bit longer to mix the colors together. So I'm gonna get some of that orange, and this is just barely darker, but it's really pretty. So sometimes if you just put a teeny tiny amount of another color into a color, it jazzes it up some and makes it a little bit different, and it's really nice. So you don't have to always put a ton of another color in there to get a change that's obvious. Okay, I'm gonna get more green, so I'm gonna wipe off my palette knife. I'm gonna get another like pencil point, and I'm gonna go a little bit more, 2 pencil points worth. Any part that's part, obviously orange, and any part that's obviously green, or whatever 2 colors you're using. Okay, getting a little bit more towards brown. Make sure you're putting your color on a little bit thick so that we see color rather than pencil lines or white paper showing through. We want to just see color. Okay, wipe my palette knife off. I'm going to get some more green. About another pencil point or so worth. Because this is really, really strong, and I will do another little experiment and show you that I could see that was clearly just green. Getting some nice browns from this too. So you don't even have to use the brown from the container, because that's kind of boring, and this is getting really beautiful. Okay, wipe off my palette knife, get a little bit more green. Okay, so this will be the last one we have to do, because I've got my color and 4 darker shades of my orange. And this is the darkest one I'm going to make. This isn't as dark as it could be, but that's the darkest one I have right now. And those are some pretty good oranges that are going towards brown. Okay, so I'm going to do a little experiment to kind of show you. If I take that much orange and about the equivalent amount of green, The green is super powerful. But the green is way overpowering. I'm just gonna paint some. You don't have to do this, but so it goes green really fast, and I only added one. Yeah, I did equal parts green and orange, approximately. See how different that is from the. So if I put that amount of green in every time, it would go dark really fast. Or it would be pretty much just green. Green that looks, goes a little bit towards the olive color because the orange is not strong. Actually, let's put another amount. I should have wiped off my palette knife. This is definitely very, very green. So be easy with the amount of paint that you're putting in. Remember, we kind of try to pile up your paint so that it's easy to scoop up with your brush. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between those two. If I take it's pretty different than the phthalo green, but it's getting very phthalo-y very fast. So be careful how much green you put in, because that's 50-50, and that's more than 50-50, like 2/3, 1/3. So just be careful with the phthalo green, because it does change things a lot very quickly. Okay, so those were the two that I wanted to show you. Complements and a light color, and using a darker color to make it darker. Okay, I think that's it. So because these are still very clean, I can put them back in the container. And then I can wash off my tray. All right, so that's it for that lesson. Have fun.